congratulations again.
Thank
What
you.
were the highlights of this test today?
I would say for me, his highlights are always the changes. Like I said, for the freestyle interview, his changes are just such a highlight. I mean, there's been a lot of work to get them to that point, but now he loves doing them and they're so easy and smooth for him. So I definitely think that's one of them. And then also his extended trots, he loves doing them. So that's always really nice too.
Did you find a difference in him between riding in the outdoor and the indoor?
So I did the outdoor test first, which I actually preferred because I almost used that as a bit of a warm-up to go into the indoor for the freestyle because like I mentioned in the previous interview, he hasn't been in an atmosphere that big before and the indoors it's quite magnificent. So that was really good. I found with the outdoor it was that bit quieter, so it eased them into the indoor a little bit, and then it meant that when I went into the indoor for the freestyle I could actually be like, no, let's go, I'm going to really go for it.
And how have you prepared through the winter?
Really hard, as in we only have outdoor arenas, and I'm based with the Thurman Bakers and they live in a valley near the Henley-on-Thames. So because we're in a dip, when we have bad weather it hits us really badly, so we struggle for that. But just schooling, probably trying 2, 3, 4 times a week when the weather allows it. I do a lot of groundwork with him, which is what the Thurman Bakers specialise in. So I do that a lot, especially when the weather's really bad, because obviously then it's just easier, isn't it, to be on the ground with them, and plenty of hacking as well. I think for him, variety, he does a little bit of everything: hacking, jumping, pole work, schooling, just to keep him entertained. Because once they know the work, once they're established in the movements that you're doing, it's just about keeping them sweet, really. So mixture of everything.
Could you tell us a bit more about the groundwork that you do with him?
Yeah, so the groundwork is, like I mentioned, a real Thurman Baker specialty. So we have a roller on, side reins, and we do some of the lateral movements, shoulder in, around you on a circle, leg yielding, opening the shoulder, which is like counter shoulder in. And it's just really good because it just sets such a solid foundation for the movements up at the higher levels. And it also just makes sure that they're using their body properly. And it's good for their backs as well, because you don't want to be sat on them all the time.
And what's he like at home? What's his personality like?
He has his quirks for sure, but I think once you know what his quirks are, he's pretty straightforward in that you've just got to cater for them. He's a bit of a cheeky chappy. People often say he's a bit of a pocket rocket because he's very small, but he's a bit of a powerhouse. And I think people are surprised when they see him in the stable because he looks like a pony, but when you see him in the arena, actually, because he's quite big moving and he's got a good presence, I always say small horse, big presence. And yeah, I think that comes through in his work, and I just love him to bits. And he's such a super talented horse, and he's one of a kind, let's say that.
And what's next for you both? Future plans, aspirations?
So we stepped up to PSG last summer. We're still very, very green at the level. So I think at the moment he's going to have a holiday, obviously, after his success this week. But yeah, then it'll be back to cracking on with the PSG work. Might do a couple of Premier Leagues at advanced medium before then hoping to qualify for the summers at PSG and being a bit solid in those areas.
And finally, how does it feel to be leaving with 2 titles today?
I don't know what to say to that question. I feel like it's not happening. I've always wanted to win a national title, and I always knew that Terry had the ability to do it. So I'm so glad today that he's won one, because I feel like it's a real testament to his ability. But yeah, I think it's going to take a while for it to settle in for sure. It doesn't feel real at the moment.
On behalf of British Dressage and Equitex, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.